Hello, good morning, amazing people. It's yet another beautiful morning, and we couldn't help but bring you Daybreak Africa from KAFTAN Television, right here in this city of light, Ondo State. Thank you very much for always joining us, and as you're joining us today, we are grateful. My name is Emmanuel.
My name is Ikhonede Joshua Eldeji. Welcome once again to Daybreak Africa. This very beautiful morning in Ondo State. It's a very beautiful time. It's beautiful, and yes, everything should look beautiful. Hopefully, it's going to be beautiful and all that. And now it's time to discuss. Like I told us earlier before, I told us yesterday as well that we will be doing a series on the issues of the Ondo State local government elections. It's going to be a real series. Yesterday we witnessed the SDP chairman and the person of Honorable Barrister Ebenezer Akimboli pour out their displeasure with many things that occurred in the Ondo State local government elections actually. And today we'll be looking at the same local government elections from the viewpoint of observers and political figures within the state. Especially we have our public affairs analyst, our politician, and also he's also into the media actually, and it's very, very vast. It's someone we are very, very familiar with actually on Daybreak Africa. Discuss with us on the local government elections and the scorecard of ODIEC, that is Ondo State Independent Electoral Commission, in the person of Sam Olorunfemi is in the studio with us today. Sam, welcome.
Okay, thanks for having me. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sam. And I understand that you are very much available actually during the elections and all that.
Exactly.
From your own end, from your own perspective, how did you see the local government elections from how you can... We've witnessed many elections in Nigeria.
Yeah, Joshua, thank you. It's not new to what we've witnessed in the past. You understand, local government election. You know, this is the election under the purview of the state government, you know, being controlled by the state government. But the last one we held in Ondo State, this weekend, you know, we witnessed some, let me say, shall I say, some logistics EU from the ODIEC, you understand, and this has been the noise we've been talking about during the INEC conduct of election, and one of the EUs that we are still battling with INEC when INEC will come and conduct election is the EU of logistics EU, you understand, and late arrival of electoral materials in such a way that you see the electorate waiting at the polling unit for the electoral officers 2-3 hours. They will not see them, not on the late arrival of electoral materials, and so on and so forth. And as a matter of fact, this was what led to the EU of voting simultaneously system in Nigeria. Don't forget that in our voting system before in Nigeria, you come for accreditation from 8 a.m. Then by 2 p.m. you come for voting. But on the EU of logistics, you know, INEC amended their guideline, the Electoral Act, then they use it for simultaneously. So when you come, you go through accreditation, then immediately you be issued a ballot paper, you cast your ballot. If you want to stay, you stay. If you want to go, you go. But over this Ondo local government, but thank God that finally we had Ondo local government election. Joshua, you know, people have been clamoring
for a long time.
Yes, that when are we going to have local government election? The last one we had was in 2020 during the last administration of the immediate past governor of the state, late Olorunfemi Akeredolu. And after that, we've been using caretaker transition committee, which is not known to our constitution, which is quite known and alien to our constitution as far as section 7, section 1 of the constitution is there. And again, let's give kudos to Supreme Court ruling. Joshua, don't forget that even not because of the Supreme Court ruling, I know many states by now will still be running on caretaker.
Yeah, as is the norms.
You understand, as norm, you understand. But don't forget the Supreme Court ruling last year when Mr. President dragged some governors to Supreme Court that they need to conduct local government election, because it does look like local government is going into extinction in Nigeria. And we have 3 tiers of government: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. And don't forget that local government is the closest government to the people when you're talking about development and so on and so forth. Yeah. And when you look at the constitution, Schedule 4 is very clear, the function of the local government, and it's like all the state governors, they've taken the responsibility of the local government on their shoulder. So the local government is being abandoned as an orphan. But thank God for that particular Supreme Court ruling. Now you know that any verdict from Supreme Court, Joshua, you have no option. Whether you cry blood, whether you cry water, it has come to stay. And don't forget, last year ruling, we had 2 rulings from Supreme Court. Number 1, the issue of financial autonomy for local government administration system in Nigeria, whereby we expunge Section 162, Section 6 of the Constitution that talks about joint account, that is JAC, before they use JAC, whereby the allocation will come to the state government and the governors will sit at their state capital and they will decide the amount of money will go to their caretaker chairman. At the end of the day, you don't have enough money now to run the local government. So kudos to federal government through the office of the Attorney General of the Federation that
to enforce this.
That put all our governance to Supreme Court. So then Section 162, Section 6 now expunged from the Constitution, nothing like joint account again. Then again, Supreme Court gives verdict that it is now mandatory that all states shall, not we now, Joshua, shall conduct local government election. No local government election in your state, forget about local government allocation. And you see that after that ruling, we've had about more than 20 states now
doing their local government election within the space of 6 months. Yeah,
local government election, left, center, back and forth. You understand now? Because they know the cross implication that when the verdict is coming from the Supreme Court and you don't abide with the ruling of the Supreme Court,
you're in trouble.
You can be charged with what we call a contempt of court. You understand now? Thank God we had our own over the weekend. But to me, we like I said, we recorded some logistical issue because in fact in some polling unit at the state capital, Joshua, where you expect, you know, that is where we have the headquarters of the state independent state electoral commission now. You expect that at the state capital now, the polling units now at least will be open as early as 7 a.m. You know, that was what we were told, that as early as 7 a.m. and that is the guideline, you know, because electorate are supposed to meet the officials, whether the INEC or SIEC, at the polling unit. It is not supposed to be the other way around, whereby the electorate will be the one waiting for the electorate officials to come and so on and so forth. So I think in Akure, majority of the polling unit opened late, Joshua. When I mean by open late is that electorate got to the polling unit, spent a lot of time waiting for the arrival of the SIEC material for the conduct of the election. They did not see. A guy was interviewed, one of the staff of the SIEC, and the guy was like, he doesn't have any money to transport himself to the police, so he has to embark on a trek on a leg wagon to the polling unit, and you know the problem, and that is what we are saying, Joshua, that we need to learn, even though INEC is not 100%, but I believe that SEC ought to have learned 1 or 2 lessons from INEC, because when you look at the conduct of election by INEC, I've worked with INEC. I started working with INEC since 2011 as a member in Katsina State, and this is how it works. Saturday is the election. By Friday, you ought to have been at the RAC, that is area registration council, that is the closest area to the polling unit, that is Ward Collation Center. You have to put all the sensitive materials, all the officials have to be there. Then the following morning, you move to the polling unit. That is the very closest place to the area. So that was what I was expecting from the ODIEC, that at least move all your officials, sensitive materials, ad hoc staff to the RAG, that is Ward Collation Center. Then by that morning, you move your people to the polling unit where the election will be conducted. But we do not see more of that in the last local government election in Ondo State. That even led to people now, the electorate now, even some people even went back home, you understand now, and it's even led to what we call voter apathy. You know, we've been preaching, putting out the information, how people will show more participation in our electoral system. Usually in the last presidential election, you understand now, we recorded worst voter turnout in the history of Nigeria. Presidential election in Nigeria. Less than 23% people came out to vote in that particular election. Highly abysmal. In the last governorship election in Ondo State that was held November last year, in the history of the turnout was low. We recorded lowest voter turnout in the history of Ondo State. Less than 20% people came out to vote, and we'll be saying that what can we do to start
encouraging
people
to come out, yeah,
and exercise their franchise. So in the last local government election in Ondo State, we witnessed the same voter apathy. Only few people that came out to exercise their franchise, and is diminishing the credibility of democratic system, of electoral system in Nigeria. Because participation in the electoral system in Nigeria is key, highly efficient and highly effective. If people doesn't come out to vote, you know what the guideline is talking about, that you have to meet a particular percentage, but I don't know what the guideline is talking about, because in the governorship election, in the presidential election, for you to have a declared winner, you have to meet some percentage at the various government area. If it is presidential election, you have to meet some percentage
at various states.
You don't forget that it costs EU during presidential election when LFP, the OB movement are talking about percentage
in Abuja, especially.
In Abuja, you understand now. But I don't think we had that particular guideline in the State Independent Electoral Commission in such a way that when few people should come out and vote, at the end of the day, the vote will come. But by and large, if I should rate ODIEC in the last local government election in Ondo State, based on logistics and so on and so forth. Don't forget that even in Ondo West, they had a kind of run election in Ondo State because a particular logo of the particular political party was missing. That is NNPP logo was missing. So they will schedule the election to the following day, whereby the election was conducted.
Which some political parties were not even happy with the fact that even proper informations did not go out from ODIEC.
You understand? So that's what we are saying, that it does like the State Independent Electoral Commission are not up to their games, Joshua. And if they are not, and this is the exercise we have every 3 years. Don't forget that no government election is every 3 years. Not 4 years like a normal governorship election and presidential election. So if we take you 3 years now to plan, to do a lot of things, at the end of the day, you come out with a shamble election, then it shows that you are not capable and you are not competent to continue conducting local government election in Nigeria. And that's why people are clamoring that can we take the local government election out of the purview of the governors, put it back to under INEC, so that INEC will continue the conduct of the election. So like I said, if I had to rate the last local government election in Ondo State, I think I would give ODIEC below mark, Joshua, based on my experience in election monitoring, the participation in the election as a journalist, political journalist, and as a public affairs journalist. So I think they will do much better in the next 3 years, Joshua.
That is ODIEC doing better.
ODIEC, yes.
Doing better in 3 years.
But 3 years. Provided the National Assembly has not amended the Constitution to take the local elections out of the state down to the island, because that has been in place. And don't forget that recently now we have what we call constitutional review is going on. And one of the things people are talking about, and I'm happy that during that particular position in Abuja, the AGF made it clear that it's like the State Electoral Commission is like appendage in the hand of the governors. And I'm happy when the Deputy Speaker as of Rep Benjamin Kalu was he represented the Speaker as of Rep when he was talking. He alluded to the fact that local government election is a shambles in Nigeria, whereby they will conduct election and the political party in power will sweep all the old states. Where is it done? Where is the transparency? Where is the fairness? Where is the justice under the Constitution? That when you conduct election, it must be fair, transparent, equitable, and must be politically balanced.
I was even trying to ask a question, Ludu. I think Glory was outside of the election. We were together when the SDP chairman together was here yesterday. We knew it was, even our viewers actually knew how the whole thing went actually. But I was trying to look at something to a point that PDP pulled out of the election
That's few hours to the election.
Few hours to the election.
Exactly.
And they claimed that they didn't really trust the whole process, and all those things. And yesterday I was asking even the SDP chairman that what then is the fate of the opposition in a system like this? Now, because there was something that they were talking about ODIEC's arrangements. He speculated, that is the SDP chairman, that ODIEC, we are majorly working hands in hands with the with the state governor, with the political party that was in power, and all that. He even said some unprintable statement about the chairman of the board actually saying he was working for his paymaster and all that. Now, do you think, from your own end, do you think, because like you rightly said, most times when local government elections are held in Nigeria, ever since the state's independence electoral commission took over, it's always the leadership of the state, the leading party, that gets the whole seats. Though some people might disagree that, okay, in the case of Rivers State, it wasn't the ruling party that got the whole seats, but we all knew the arrangements with Rivers State, that there was turbulence in the political party itself before they had to just make some arrangements and all that. Same with Akwa Ibom and all that. So looking at that, do you think that ODIEC too had maybe they were in parley with the party of the leading party, of the ruling party?
Joshua, we don't need a prophet to tell us, neither do we need any kind of soothsayer to tell us that state independent. I don't want to use ODIEC now. I don't want to limit
it to ODIEC
I don't want
only.
to limit my discussion on ODIEC now. We all know that state independent electoral commission, they are under the control of the state government. That is the fact of the matter. And I bet on debate with anybody on this particular subject matter, Joshua, and anybody that will come and tell me that the state independent electoral commission in all the 36 states are not under the control of the state governors. I want to hold debate with anybody that will come and discuss that with me. You are just Joshua. We all know, we all agree that who pays the pipers now.
Will they take the tune?
You understand now? These are the commission that have been set up by the state governors. These are the commission that's been financed by the governors. These are the commission that's been the chairman has been appointed by the governors. All their commissioners have been appointed by the governor. Even though the Mr. President is being the one appointing who becomes the INEC chairman, we'll be talking about this. That there are some things we need to take outside the purview of the Mr. President. Like number one, who becomes the Chief Justice of Nigeria will be taken out of the purview of Mr. President. Even though there's a recommendation from the Nigeria Judicial Commission, but at the end of the day, it's still the President that will still nominate to the National Assembly who becomes the Chief Justice of Nigeria. The INEC chairman is still the presidency. The IG, the service chiefs, is still the presidency. We'll be clamoring that can we take that out of the presidency to be an independent selection in such a way that Mr. President will not know anything about it. So coming to the state level, Joshua, so it is clear that governors are the one controlling the state independent electoral commission. That the PDP pull out of the election is not new. Don't forget, in the build-up when Agagun was there, late Agagun conducted the government election. Mimiko Labour Party pulled out that particular election. That is Labour Party. At the end of the day, when Mimiko had that mandate from Benin, from the Court of Appeal in Benin, when he became the governor of Ondo State, he used the instrumentality of the office now to remove all the elected local government chairmen under the PDP because of the instrumentality of the governor of the state then, and no, his party did not participate in that election then. But Supreme Court has gave a ruling, Joshua. No governor now can remove an elected local government chairman again. So if peradventure or PDP should reclaim Ondo State, now they cannot remove the elected local government chairman. That means because they cannot remove
the APC guys.
The APC guy will be there for the next 3 years. It's only the councillors that can remove them. So don't forget that in the last local government election in Delta State, APC did not participate. You know, because they said they already knew where the game would turn out to be. At the end of the day, in all local government areas in Delta State, PDP cleared all the chairmanship seats. They left some councillorship seats for the opposition party, and that's what they are doing. When the Shomale was there, you see now, they cleared all the chairmanship seats. They allow opposition now to have a taste in the councillorship seat. But what people are saying is that if we can be conducting election in Nigeria and the party at the center is not the one controlling all the 19 states, why can't we have a local government election in such a way that opposition will have a kind of chairmanship seat? But we've not been seeing that. All the local government election conducted in Nigeria so far, Joshua, it has been the party in power clearing all the chairmanship seats. Doesn't mean that people doesn't like the face of the other political party. You will conduct an election. You understand now? Maybe you conducted the election last year. You will see that a opposition party, they have a House of Representatives seat, they have a Senate seat, They won some local government. Now they will not conduct local government election. The local government won by the opposition party during the local government election. They will not be able to win the local government again in the local government election. So there's something fishy when it comes to conduct of the local government election in Nigeria. And that is what we are saying. There is no transparency. These are my words. There's no transparency in the conduct of the local government election in Nigeria. In as much the governors are still the one conducting the local one. And that's why you see people don't show interest in local government election. Besides the political party, they will tell you that we know where the game will end at the end of the day. Where are we go? Where do we need to spend our money? Where do we need to spend our campaign posters? So that's why you see most of the opposition that they don't participate. Majority of the opposition, they don't participate in the local government election because they know that local government election are appendage of the state governments.
Speaking of security and peaceful election, speculation has it that the election wasn't peaceful, but people like Tunji Ojo is saying that it was peaceful and commending the peaceful election and all the rest. What do you have to say in the aspect of security and peaceful conduct?
So far so good. We can give kudos to the security architecture. You understand now, in the area where I covered, there's nothing like violence. You understand, the election went peacefully. People came out to vote. They exercised their franchise. They voted. After voting, like I said, some went home, some waited till the result counted in their presence, and so on and so forth. But by and large, I think when it comes to the issue of rating the performances of the security on that particular election day, I think I can rate the security, I can give them a pass mark for conducting themselves, show professionalism in this election. Don't forget that when you are conducting an election, the role of the security now is to provide security for the electorate, for the electoral officers, electoral officers, the observers, and so on and so forth, to ensure that the election will be a kind of peaceful one. You see now. So I think when it comes to security aspect, we have to give kudos to security architecture. But there's no how we conduct an election that will not have skirmishes of violence and so on and so forth. And that's why some people are saying that, can we introduce this issue of electronic voting in our electronic system? No, we've tried it in Nigeria. The former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, happens to be the first governor
to try
and introduce e-voting in our system, and it works in Kaduna State. So people are saying that if we have electronic voting, I can sit at the comfort of my home
and vote,
bring out my smartphone, do my voting, and so on. About Joshua, people are talking about Aki. How strong is our internet if we want to do electronic voting? Yeah, but on security wise, on security, I think we give it to our security men for conducting themselves well in the election.
I would have loved to have a question, but I will ask the question immediately after this particular break. Now we're still going to be discussing on the local government elections in Ondo. I told you from the observer's view, actually, which seems to be quite balanced and quite enjoyable, as our very, very delectable guests is very, very, very vast in when it comes to electoral matter. In person of Sam Olorunfemi is still with us in the studio. So you were discussing something. I think Glory was actually agreeing with something as regards the elections. Yeah, the
INEC. Talking about the INEC taking over the elections, what do we stand to gain if the INEC take over the elections?
Yes, we stand to gain a lot of things. One, we stand to gain more participation from the political parties. You also know the pulling out of the political parties. Don't forget that we've never had, we want to conduct the state election, hearing that major party pulling out. They will participate. In presidential election, you see the opposition party participate in this thing. In fact, you see the atmosphere changing. Telling you that election is coming, everywhere will be bustling. It shows that people believe that let INEC come and conduct the election. At least we still have headway to go. So if INEC can take the process of the local government election, number one, you see more of participation from the opposition party. Then you're likely to see what we call a game changer in such a way that it should not be a one-way traffic again. What do I mean by one-way traffic? In such a way that people can predict the outcome of the election. You know, when you want to conduct an election and some people are predicting the outcome of the election, at the end of the day, the prediction will come to reality 100%.
Yeah.
You see now, in the just conducted Ondo election, some people predicted that the ruling party will clear out the 18 local government. The prediction came to reality. But if it is under INEC, you can't sit somewhere and predict, because the election will not be under the control of the state government. It will be under the control of INEC. So there won't be any kind of interference from the state level. So I think we start to gain a lot of things. Then we start to gain a lot of what we call a political inclusion. So now, you know, state election is bringing what we call
one party system.
Yes, a kind of one party system election, in such a way that it is only, in fact, when you go out now to see posters, I hardly see opposition posters. You see, in this election, it's only the posters of the main political party now in the chairmanship. In fact, even the councillors, do they even pay posters? Because they know that already they've won the election. So why do they need to pay posters? But if the election is under the INEC, you know that it's a clear contest for you. You pay posters, you go on the electoral manifestos, you go to your walls, you campaign, because you know that the game that is coming is not a Chinese game, it's not a one-way traffic, it's two-way traffic. But if it is still under the State Electoral Commission, people will never pay posters. When people will not, in as much you be nominated by your party, you know that automatically you won the election. You see now. But if it is under INEC, after nomination for your party, you know, you have to slug it out with the opposition party. So people have been clamoring, and I think I agree with that we need to put it under INEC. Let's see if we put it under INEC and see the same one-way traffic, then we know that the problem is not from the state governor, the governors, you see now, that the problem is from the electorate and so on and so forth. But I think let's try. Don't forget that we've tried it before the state governors taking over. And one of the reasons why the state governors took over the State Independent Electoral Commission is what we have under Section 8 of the Constitution. Because under Section 8 of the Constitution empowers the State House of Assembly to control the activities of the local government. So the governors came under Obasanjo to say that, well, if the State House of Assembly, they have the power to control the local government, why can't you give us another power again to start conducting local government elections, so that we can relieve the burden of the conduct of local government election from the federal government. You know, federal government will be the one to conduct presidential election and national assembly election. Federal government will be the one to conduct state assembly election and governorship election. They now say that, why can't you allow us now to start conducting government election?
Kind of deceptive.
Since the state house of assembly are the one under Section 8 of the Constitution controlling the activities of the government, that was how governors hijacked the process of conducting local government election. And since then, we've not been seeing a kind of tangible and a kind of strong local government administration system in Nigeria. So people have been clamoring, and I'm happy that even people in Abuja are saying that we should take it back under INEC. So people have been saying that is it not going to be a burden under INEC? It can't be burden under INEC, because when INEC is conducting local government election, it's being conducted in all the local government areas. So it can't be a burden under INEC. And the financial wherewithal is there for INEC to mobilize the people to across the local government to conduct election. So I think I will align with the federal government and in line with the constitutional review that is going on, that we should put the State Independent Electoral Commission under INEC, so that INEC will start conducting. In fact, as a matter of fact, INEC chairman has come out to say that they have the capacity
to run the local government elections.
So I think that is the best way to go, because I don't believe in the local government election under the state governors. I don't believe in that process.
Great. Yesterday, the chairman of SDP talked about redress, court redress. You know, the numbering, he said that while the elections were on, they were already
constituted.
Saying that some of you are the winner of this and all the rest. And the numbers they are calling, you know, you said that it was a bad turnout, but the numbers they are calling in the results are actually scary. So do you think that court redress will help change some results?
I've never seen where a local government election was conducted, the opposition challenged the process, and the election was upturned. I've never seen in Nigeria.
Great.
I've never seen. but I've seen the governorship election.
Yeah,
being
it's
upturned.
Yeah.
multiple times.
But when it comes to local government election, I've never seen. So I don't know whether the Ondo state will serve as a kind of breaking news in such a way that in Ondo West, the SDP candidate challenged the result at the tribunal, and at the end of the day, the election was upturned. And let me tell you, you can quote my word, nobody, no opposition will challenge that result at the tribunal. No opposition will challenge that result at the tribunal, because they will tell you that the same thing will pass out at the tribunal. The governor was the one that considered the tribunal through the office of the state attorney general of the federation. So what do you expect? So that's what we are saying, that we should take this out of the purview of the governor. So like I said, I've never seen. So I don't know if we have opposition that we challenge. I don't know whether they have timeline to challenge the election result in court. If the timeline elapses, you don't challenge the results, that is the end of that particular. So let's see whether number one, we will see a kind of political party that will challenge the process in court. Then after that, let's see whether the court will upturn. But I doubt whether there will be any upturn across the local government areas in the election. And that's why we are seeing that all these things are not transparent enough. You understand now? You know, election is all about transparency. And that's why people are still talking about the 1993 election being the most fairest,
The fairest, yeah, and the freest.
freest, and the most credible election we've ever had in Nigeria, in such a way that after the conduct of that election, people were like, no, if Abiola went too far in Kano, you see now, and people of Kano did not even burn any, did not even to street to destroy houses, you see now. That shows how the election was how transparent the election was in 1993. So since then, we'll be having this Akepanke election in Nigeria.
Well, now, I want to even ask, what do you think is the end game of most of the state governors, looking at the fact that this efficiency, this tendency to always want to have control of the local government in Nigeria? You brought an historical perspective to it, that they trickishly, in a very, very manipulative way, got hold of, conducting such elections in their particular states. Buhari tried, Executive Order 10, autonomous local government, autonomous state legislative, autonomous state judiciary. It was the state governors fought against it. For the current president to even take them to court to ensure that the Supreme Court.
Joshua, former President Buhari went through the lawmaking process, and that was how the governor not allowed to see the law today. But the current president was the former governor. So if you understand the logic, he has been the governor, and that was what he kept telling them. I've been in this seat before. I understand this game more than you guys. When I was governor, none of you ever dreamt of becoming a governor. So there's no trick you guys want to bring. I've been there before you guys. I'm supposed to be a politician, you understand?
Yeah, definitely.
And he has the money, nobody can induce him with money. No governor can go to us with a kind of bag of money to change his mind, you understand now? But he went straight to Supreme Court. He did not pass the National Assembly. He went straight to Supreme Court, and he got the judgment from the Supreme Court. So that was what Buhari failed to do.
Yeah.
That Bola Tinubu played on, and he succeeded in that particular election. The reason why governors are holding on to no government election is very clear. You understand now? Like I said, under Schedule 4 of the Constitution, you see the rule of the local government. All the rules of the local government are what the governors are enjoying today. The tax rate belongs to the local government. The EU primary healthcare center belongs to the local government. You see now, the EU of this market ticketing, governors are the one taking ticketing now, is under the
local government.
So all the activities of the local government, governors have hijacked everything. You understand now? They are the ones doing this now. So, and it's supposed to be the functions of the local government. So that's why you see governors now hijacking the local government. But I think with this election coming up, and with this financial autonomy, the local government will come back to their full operational now, and they will be working effectively the way they're supposed to work.
Well, I was even trying to look at it that you talked about the place of with this whole, the local government can never get to a point and can never get to be free gradually and everything. We've seen places like Edo State where 2 local government chairmen were, they are still going back and forth over the case about to be removed and all of that. We've seen cases where, well, what I'm trying to just look forward to is that, don't you think that, because the way I'm looking at it, there is a likely chance that the issue of INEC, since it's going by the face of the law,
Yes.
before INEC can actually get to, be in charge of the elections, it might take a longer process.
Yes,
actually, it might take a longer process.
Yes.
I'm looking at it from this perspective. Don't you think President Tinubu should make use of the same pattern he made use of, to just take it straight to the court again? Let the courts decide, since it was just like maybe by an executive order, President Obasanjo gave such privilege to the state governors. A court can actually go back to the constitution and look at, redirecting the whole thing.
You see,
rather than law process.
Joshua, President Buhari, President Bola Tinubu, we also tread softly. He won't be doing things that will make governors to see him as their enemy. You understand?
Yeah.
He would like to do things in a systematic order. If Mr. President should go to Supreme Court now again to issue an executive order that local government elections should be taken out of the governor's control down to INEC, there's possibility of governors see him as their enemy. Don't forget, they still come back 2027. And of these governors now, they have their power to control their people, to tell you that this is what to them, especially the northerners. The year of VAT is still there.
It's still there, yeah. The tax reform.
That's a battle within the
which is the biggest battle of Nigeria.
So if he take them to Supreme Court again now on the year of no government election, it's going to be a kind of, maybe Mr. President is fighting the governors, and it can be a backlash on the Mr. President come 2027.
Yeah.
And I think if Mr. President want to do that, and I think we're able to win this election 2027 before I can take that boost step.
Yeah.
Thank God I've won my election.
So the next thing is,
my next
they all
4
got
years,
nothing on me.
whether you support me or not. So Mr. President will also be careful in taking some steps. He will not just come on and be using his own presidential power now to want to fight the government. Don't forget that even governors as well, they are somehow powerful. Joshua, you can't underplay the governors. They are powerful.
I think they are even the most powerful, actually, in many instances.
Yes, they are powerful in some extent, so you can't underplay them. So I don't see Mr. President go to that length again. Having won first case in court on the issue of financial autonomy, the conduct of no government election. You see governors now run to conduct no government election. So I think we will be able to use the instrumentality of the National Assembly now to fight this battle, to see how we'll be able to win through the National Assembly. But if at all they are going to win, we still have another leg to go, because in this issue of conduct of no government election, even if the National Assembly should pass it, you have to take it out of the State House of Assembly. We need about 26 or 25 of the Assembly now to agree with it that, okay, take our election out of the state governors down to the INEC. So how many State of Assembly? We agree with that, because even State of Assembly in Nigeria, they're under the control of the state government.
Because they are not financially autonomous.
Autonomous, you understand now. So if the bill should come to our State House of Assembly that we want to take the local government election out of the state, it's just a call. Governor will call the speaker. You still come to me for money. If you like, agree that the state local government election out of the state governors, your allowances will not come. Your salary will be delayed. And you see the speaker at the end of the day, our assembly opposes. Let the state governors continue with the local government election. So that's where we had the issue. So I don't think Mr. President taking that step, because it's going to be a kind of battle with him. Because during the Christmas break, governors went to Lagos to pay homage
to the president.
And he said that I'm not fighting the governors. What I'm saying is that go to your local government, do the move. So I don't see Mr. Governor taking that step directly like that, okay, let EU executive order that Supreme Court should rule that no government election should be taken out of the state governors down to the electoral commission. No, that would be like a kind of fight between him and the state governors, and state governors can go back to their state to wage a political war against the president come 2027. So I don't see Mr. President toe that line. Rather, I see him toeing the line of the National Assembly, and that's that constitutional review now is coming. Let's review the constitution. Let's amend that section in the constitution. Then let's see how it will go at the state level.
Yeah, he said something about allocation, the local government allocation,
Yes.
and also the ticketing and the toll fee. That's supposed to be under the local government.
Yes.
So do you think that these forms of election, that the local government will ever be free in terms of this? Do you think they'll be free from the state government, or they will still just bear the name so that the state can be collecting local government allocation, but they will not be doing what the local government should do? The state will still be doing it.
Under the last paragraph of Schedule 4 of the Constitution, the law says, that Constitution says that the House of Assembly shall have power to control the activities of the local government. That's what the last schedule under Schedule 4 of the 1999 Constitution. So despite the financial autonomy, the State House of Assembly can still control the activities of the local government unless we amend that particular section. So the let me say the only freedom for local government is that they will be receiving their money directly from Abuja. House of Assembly can still tell them this is what to do, this is what not to do. You understand? And they still be working in line with the state government. They want to embark on a project and they don't have the financial capacity. They can do part of it. State government can complete part of it. You understand? But if truly want to have the full control of the local government, all those activities and so on and so forth will be taken away from the State House of Assembly. The local government will be the one controlling their own activities, will not be under the control of the local government. In the ruling of the Supreme Court did not say that House of Assembly should not control the local government. What Supreme Court says is that at least financial autonomy and the conduct of the local government, and that's two rulings given by the Supreme Court. So Senate Assembly will still be controlling the local government, but now they can't remove the local government chairman again. Not that the governor will wake up one day and will use State House of Assembly to remove the local government chairman. That cannot work again. But they can use the instrumentality of the councillors. Councillors now can remove the local government chairman, the way the State Assembly can remove the governor, the way the National Assembly can remove the president. You see now, so councillor will be the one now that can remove
the local government.
Like the one Okwelu did in Edo State. No, it was reversed. When he used State Assembly to remove the local government chairman, they told him, these are the elected chairman, you can't remove them. It's only local government councillors that can remove them. But they are still under the control of the state government through the State House of Assembly.
The one of Oyo is even the most specific for me, actually. Oyo State, even some of the local government chairmen are even pledging more allegiance to the state governors and all that. And I want to ask a very tricky question, even as we wind down on this particular discussion. You know, someone made a statement. He said, at the sight of money, don't you think loyalty sometimes loyalty flies through the window, actually, because now these guys are receiving money directly and they are loyal to you because they collect from you actually. Now, don't you see a situation where clashes can begin to come up between these two tiers of government, actually the local government and the state government?
There cannot be clashes. Okay. Don't forget that the governors were the one that nominated this particular chairman from their party. And I want to believe before the nomination there must be an agreement. If Joshua is the governor and I want to run a local government, she also wants to run a local government under your party, I believe there must be an agreement.
Definitely there will be agreement.
I want my party to pick you because you know that the moment I've been picked by you to run, automatically I've won the election. So Joshua as the governor will not sit. Sam, you want me to pick you as our candidate in Ondo West? I said yes. By the time you receive your allocation, let's put an agreement. This percentage will be coming to the purse of the state government. Agree or not agree? If I agree, the party will feed me to be the candidate. I don't know if you get.
I get the old tactics already.
So at the end of the day, they will present me. I will win the election. The allocation will come. I will tell the local government auditor general forward this amount to the state government. So there cannot be a clash. Agreement has been there before I was picked.
Well, agreement can be broken. We are witnessing Wiki and Fubara right now.
If agreement is broken, the governor will use the councillor to remove you from office.
So it's just the power that be now. It's the power that be.
So the governor will just call the councillors. Councillor has never seen 5 million before. You see 5 million cash from the government house. We have 12 councillors in Ondo West. You see now. Some will only remove the local government chairman. If someone have been given 5 million each, they've never seen it before.
That's 35 million.
They saw cash from the government house.
The majority.
Not check. Not that I will give you after the assignment.
Cash.
You'll be given a card before the assignment. The following month, they come to local government. The chairman, gross misconduct is very common. Gross misconduct. So we have removed the local government chairman.
That ends it.
What do you want to say?
Nothing.
So if you breach the agreement of Mr. Governor, if you use the councillors, I know no local government chairman can offer any councillor 5 million naira. Where's the money? The government can do, governors can do. So you dare not breach the agreement you signed before you were given the ticket to become the local government chairman.
A little bit of slavery to the local government chairman.
So that's what we're saying. So the loyalty will still be there from the local government chairman to Mr. Governor.
But what kind of politics do we actually play? Because it's not like loyalty, it's just the politics of the loyal. Politics of the loyal.
So I say that INEC should take over. If INEC should take over, you know that your election is not under Mr. Governor. Your election is under the INEC. So there's nothing like loyalty again under that.
So the loyalty goes. Well, we'll look further with time as things, turn out, and we will always be here to bring you the updated informations of everything. And hopefully we just hope that a time is going to come where government will be administered in all truthfulness. Very soon on Daybreak Africa, you'll be seeing many of these local government chairmen too as well, because as we speak, they are the closest to the people. So rather than take the blame to the federal government, we already have someone close to us to push the blames to. But Sam, thanks so much for being a part of this. We really appreciate you.
We talked about voters' apathy, which is a very bad thing. I mean, political apathy shouldn't set into the community because we need leadership to move on. But when things are like this, what can we say? So watch out for tomorrow. But while you're waiting, stay informed and stay happy through the week. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Glory Emmanuel.
And yes, my name is Ikhonede Joshua Adeji. Like Ismail Ondo, I will still say this, and I'll say this as a passing note. No matter how bad or good the system is, the system still needs every one of us to be involved and concerned. Your aspirations, your visions, and whatever that be, can never come to fruition unless you have a good system. And to have a good system, you need to be involved. So be involved, stay informed, enjoy Daybreak Africa. Till we meet next time, especially tomorrow on this set. My name is Ikhonede Joshua Adeji once again. Bye.
Bye.